There's a nearly finished Star Wars movie that you will never see. It had a script, it had a director, it had a cast ready to go, and then Disney killed it. It was called The Hunt for Ben Solo, and in the past few days, we've learned that not only was this film real, it was deep in development, and the story behind why it was canceled might be our clearest look yet at the growing divide and the differences between Lucasfilm and Disney. Over 2 years, Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh quietly worked on developing a Star Wars film set after The Rise of Skywalker. Soderbergh was collaborating with Logan Lucky writer Rebecca Blunt and later with Scott Z. Burns, the screenwriter behind Contagion and The Bourne Ultimatum. And by all accounts, the screenplay was finished and paid for, and the project had entered early prep and staffing. Adam Driver described it as, quote, handmade and character driven. It was a story in the spirit of The Empire Strikes Back. It would have followed Ben Solo's journey toward redemption, exploring the fallout of his past and his search for meaning after the end of The Rise of Skywalker. A raw, intimate Star Wars film with heart, not necessarily spectacle. And according to reports, Lucasfilm loved it. Kathleen Kennedy even told Soderbergh Disney has never stopped a screenplay from Lucasfilm before. But when the project went upstairs, when Bob Iger and Alan Bergman saw it, Disney shut it down. And here's the reason. You're not going to believe it. They said they didn't see how Ben Solo could still be alive. Which, if you've ever seen Star Wars, is absolutely ludicrous. Palpatine came back from vaporization.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Maul survived being cut in half. Boba Fett climbed out of a Sarlacc pit. But Ben Solo, no, that's where they're going to draw the line. And here's the part that really stands out. Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh went public with this. They didn't have to. They could have protected their relationships. They could have smiled politely and kind of moved on. But instead, they told the truth. And that's brave because let's be real, they will probably never work with Disney again. Driver could have returned to Star Wars or joined Marvel or even went to another Disney property, and he still said, we had the script and Disney said no. And Soderbergh, well, he openly said, I enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm just sorry that fans won't get to see it. And the fans, they responded quickly. Within days, they bought a plane on a banner that flew over Disney Studios in California. They ran a digital billboard in Times Square. Hashtags trended across fandom circles that normally don't even agree on things. For the first time in years, the Star Wars fandom seemed united, and not over the sequels or the prequels or canon, but over something very simple. We all just want good stories told by people who care about Star Wars. Now, the obvious question is, why would Disney stop this? Could have been timing. This all happened around 2 years ago when Disney was still laser focused on streaming content, not necessarily theatrical releases. They were terrified of taking risks. A redemption story about a dead character might have been too complicated for a mass audience, maybe too niche, too artsy. And that's what's very frustrating because that's exactly the kind of Star Wars stories we need. Instead, Disney wanted something safe, something marketable. And this is part of a larger problem. Soderbergh's film was canceled. David Fincher walked away because Disney wouldn't grant him final cut. Rian Johnson's trilogy is still on hold. And meanwhile, we're getting corporate synergy, brand management, and marketing strategy, and not storytelling. And then here's the strangest twist of all. The same week that this story broke, just last week, the official Star Wars YouTube channel posted Rey and Ben versus Palpatine, a clip from The Rise of Skywalker, the end of Rise of Skywalker, 6 years after the movie. Why now? There's no anniversary. There's no tie-in. There's nothing. Just that scene. Was it epic level trolling? Was it Lucasfilm sending a signal? Because it sure felt like they were saying, we still care about Ben Solo, even if Disney doesn't. So here's my theory. I think this isn't just a canceled project. I think it's a symptom of Lucasfilm's creatives like Filoni, Kennedy, Soderbergh, Rian Johnson. They've been trying to tell different stories, and Disney keeps stopping them. And at some point, Lucasfilm might start pushing back even publicly, and we might have just seen that. So maybe The Hunt for Ben Solo never gets made, but the story around it, this particular moment in time, might actually change something, because when two A-list creators risk their careers to call out corporate fear, when fans unite instead of fight, when Lucasfilm quietly supports a project that Disney rejected, that's not coincidence. That's a shift. Maybe this isn't the end of Ben Solo's story, but maybe it's the beginning of Star Wars finding its soul again. What do you think? Was Disney protecting the brand or killing the magic? Would you have watched The Hunt for Ben Solo? Drop a comment below, like, share, subscribe, all those things you're supposed to do, because remember what Luke Skywalker told us.
No one's ever really gone.
And if you love this kind of conversation, check out my new book called Who Owns the Myth? You can pre-order it now at whoownsthemyth.com. Thanks again for spending some time with us today. May the force be with you.